Morning, everyone. Wednesday, the 4th of February. Are we all good? Hope we're all happy. Smiling well. I am absolutely. I've literally spent the last half hour loading the car up with old bits of tire and also tip run for me after this live. Then the gym. I've had a right couple of days. No, I had a right day yesterday. I'll tell you all about it shortly. But anyway, that just is what it is. But yeah, life just is all over the place at the moment. All over the place. Is it affecting weight loss? Absolutely not. It's not affecting anything because that is always going to be a priority. We're on it. You know. But what's this now? Who wants money off me? Everyone wants money off you all the time, don't they? All the time. It's all good. Right, sorry, I'm just flicking through a couple of bits. I've not been in here yesterday, and I'll tell you why. Flipping Rach messaged me yesterday morning. I'm really poorly. I've got really bad stomach pains. And I was like, what, like cramps or something like that? She's like, no, it's just a constant stabbing pain in my stomach. Gets a little bit worse, then it gets a little bit better, but it's just a constant pain. I was like, right, that's not good. Right, well, and she's like, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to drive home. So I'll flip it. Anyway, she said, I'll be all right. I'm going to get myself home. So she come home, she got in bed, and she was like, absolutely, like, curled up in bed, in agony. I've never seen her in so much pain. And I was like, do you want to be sick? She was like, no. I was like, do you need the toilet? She went, no. So anyway, phoned like 111, and they were like, it could be her appendix, if we're being honest with you. If it's that much pain, is it going into a side? And she was like, no, it's right in the center of my stomach, like lower part center of my stomach. But and they were like, well, how long has it been going on for? And she was like, only about 3 hours, and it just came on really sudden. And they were like, that sounds like definitely could be appendix. Get yourself to a walking center if you can. And they'll probably look at you a bit quicker than A&E, if not straight to A&E. So dropped tools yesterday, went over to, so I sat in a walking centre all afternoon yesterday. I sat in a walking centre well, not all afternoon, to be honest with you. She really went really poorly, and they were like, we'll get her in now. So they got her in. Anyway, they don't think it's it is basically, they sort of did all the vitals. They said everything's fine, blood pressure's great, thing is fine. They sort of pushed on her stomach, like the doctor, and he said, obviously it's only been a couple of hours. So he said sometimes appendicitis or something like your appendix can be 24 hours. He said, I think you've got gastroenteritis. I said, you picked up something. So he said, I just think it's a severe case of that, which will basically flush itself out over the next 24 to 48 hours. But if it doesn't, if it's still like this, or any A&E, so we can't do much for you at walking, A&E. Anyway, she come home. Anyway, she's woke up this morning. Anyway, it did start to ease off yesterday evening, and she managed a piece of toast. And then she was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep it down, but she managed a piece of toast. Anyway, she slept all right last night, and then she's woke up this morning. She's still sore, but it seems to be on the mend. So anyway, just one of those days yesterday where, yeah, everything kind of went out the window. It was good for me because I've been fighting the hunger demons a little bit. But obviously, when you're busy and you're like, right, you've got to drop things and then go to a walking centre and then sit there for a couple of hours and then try, do you know what I mean? And it sort of it distracted me from being hungry, basically. And I've been doing these shakes, like I've upped my calories, but only through 2 protein shakes. And I thought it would have had the reverse effect, but I've actually had 2 days of being hungry. Anyway, all good. We were sort of home and got her all settled and sorted for about 6:30 last night. She didn't really want anything to eat. At that point, she just sort of went and laid back in bed. So I did myself chicken. I just had chicken and potato. I had chicken in. I've always got chicken in the fridge. I did like a little roast dinner without the Yorkie puds. Loads of volume. So all good, really. Could I have died for a McDonald's? Yes. Could I have gone for a takeaway? Did I have pizza in the freezer that I could have whacked in? Yeah, no need. Spuds in air fryer, chicken in air fryer, broccoli, peas, bit of gravy, bang, done. Loads of volume, loads of protein. All good, really. Anyway, this morning I've woke up and I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. The last 2 mornings I've woke up starving each day. And I might just be putting it down to this, like, I'm eating what I'm eating, but I'm having these 2 protein shakes. I think it's just psychological, thinking, oh, you've got loads more calories now, Neil. Let's eat more food. I think it's all in my head. This morning, absolutely right as rain. Monday morning, woke up starving. Yesterday morning, woke up starving. And literally yesterday, I had a big protein yogurt bowl, big chicken and potatoes to eat dinner. Then I had 3 eggs. And I was like, and I'm still like, and me 600, me 300 calorie protein shake at 11:30. So I literally had yogurt bowl at 9:30, me shake straight after me live at 11:30, chicken and potatoes at 12:30, and then 3 eggs at 1:30. I was literally eating every hour yesterday, and nothing was like, I'm like, I could still eat. But all within calories. I had a few more than I normally would do. I think I had 2,300 calories yesterday in food, and then me 2 shakes. So I ended up on like 2,900 calories, still a 500 calorie deficit. 600 calorie deficit. I burned 3,500. I didn't get to my spin class last night though, which I was a bit not miffed about. Obviously, Rachel's more important than my spin class, but I love my routine. I absolutely love my routine. Anyway, let's do the top 5 this morning on TikTok. Who's in? Stevie's in at number 1. Mr. John Jackson's in at number 2. Becky's in at number 3. Donna's in at number 4. Lou is in at number 5. You're my top 5 this morning, guys. Thank you very much for coming straight to the live. As always, coming and saying hello. Lita's in, good morning. Peter P, good morning, mate. Sheila, Faye, Matt's in, morning, mate. Mr. Bobby's in, good morning. Maureen, good morning, all. Good morning, Neil. Good morning, Maureen. Claire's in, good morning. Start kettlebells at home again yesterday. Going to be very hard to do the pickup position. Yeah, you're feeling a bit sore this morning. Getting ready for 11.5 hour shift. Done myself some chicken wraps work. Very good, Stevie. Must be hard there. Lots of temptation, but planning, taking your own food, superb. Paul, good morning. Jane, good morning. Nelly Nunu, good morning. Who else is in here? Katie. Oh, loads of you in this morning. My first thought was appendix. Yeah, that was like, I was like, it's not, when it's something like that, I was like, it was weird because you kind of know when it's a bit of a stomach bug or something. And it just wasn't like that yesterday. Anyway, she's feeling a bit better. My appendix burst 50 years ago. Not a good time, I bet, mate. Let's hope she feels better soon. Yeah, she was going to take the day off work today. She's just phoned in work and said, I'll work today, but I'm going to work from home on the sofa, monitoring emails. To be fair, they've said, don't bother, but she's one of them, right? She's a workaholic, so she's doing a bit of work today. Morning, hope she's better soon. Cheers, Katie. Thank you. Free promotion fee, just in case the BBC see it. What's that, Hannes? Wonder, can I stick your logo in my Great North Run t-shirt next to the RLB one? Yeah, of course, mate. Absolutely. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Absolutely. £4 down since the 6th of January. Feels good to finally see the benefits. 2 days consistent at the same weight. Stop weighing every day. It'll do you nothing. Honestly, if you're chasing numbers on a scale, stop weighing every day. Lauren, good morning. I made a huge batch of chicken noodle vegetable soup yesterday. 270 calories per portion and so high. That sounds great. Soups can't beat, especially this time of year. Bridget, good morning. Whew, I think I got 3 more there. Yasmin, good morning to you as well on YouTube. So, yeah, yesterday was just a bit up and down. But like I say, it didn't affect things too much. You've just got to roll with it. You've just got to roll with it. Like I say, driving home from where we were at the walking centre, I passed 3 takeaways that I could have nipped into. I was starving when we left. There, and Rachel obviously didn't want any food, so I was like, I'll just grab a McDonald's, and because I knew when I got home I had to walk both dogs. I had to, I needed to sort out protein boxes because I built them all yesterday. I've just been a bit behind at the moment, but I built them all yesterday before pretty much. Well, actually, no, I did them all Monday, and the plan was to package them all up yesterday and post them. Anyway, I did half from last night. I've done half from this morning. I've loaded the car up. Busy. But anyone that's bought a Bossy Protein box, they will be in the post today, and hopefully you'll get them Friday by the end of the week, Saturday maybe. But I'll be getting them all out. You should get an email saying with a tracking and everything like that. So they should be out with you today. And I get my scales from my mum, who lives 45 minutes away, so stops me weighing every day. Yeah, it's look, you can weigh every day. If you've got a healthy relationship with the scales and you don't get miffed, like, oh, I've been really good for 3 days and oh no, I've gained a pound, right? If that's you, you've got to leave the scales alone, because what you're seeing is daily fluctuations, and what you're not computing yet is those daily fluctuations are just water weight, food weight, water retention that will change every single day, you know. Yesterday, I ate a bit more food than I would do normally on a Tuesday, and it was quite carb. You know, I ate nearly 1 kilo of potatoes yesterday, right? That more carbs is going to create more glycogen in my body. Plus, yesterday, I didn't go to the gym, I didn't train, so I won't have burnt out a good amount of glycogen that I normally do 6 days a week. So I will be carrying more water this morning than I was yesterday morning. So if I'd weighed yesterday and I weighed today, I'm probably 2 pounds heavier today than I was yesterday. And that's because I've had more volume of food. I've had more carbohydrates. And, you know, that's like literally a 2 pound gain. Some people is like, oh my God, it takes me 2 weeks to lose 2 pounds. And I've gained it all back. Why is my heater not working here? Because it's set to 13. It is absolutely Baltic. Right, I put it up to 20. Get some eating. I am so cold. Do you know when you say you're cold? I'm like cold to the bone. Like, I'm not just like, I'm internally cold. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like every inch of my body. It's not just like, oh, I'm a bit chilly, I'll stick a jumper on or a coat on. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know I'm here in short sleeves, but I have actually got 4. I've got a vest, a t-shirt somewhere, a sleeveless hoodie, and a gilet on. So I am layered up. It's just my arms that are deep, but I'm absolutely like cold to the bone. As long as the trend is downwards over time, I don't worry about 1-2 days up. I don't weigh every day, but I have a good relationship to trust myself. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, I'm just giving, you know, so many people weigh themselves every day chasing numbers, and those daily fluctuations that they see just absolutely box head. I didn't do the flipping weekly weight loss vlog. It's going to be another Wednesday weekly weight loss vlog. I'm only saying it because I've got the times here and it's on my phone ready for editing. Flipping heck, 2 Wednesdays in a row where the weekly weight loss vlog, it's going to be Wednesdays for the weekly weight loss vlog. Honestly, life is just upside down at the moment. Upside down. One thing I do want to do this week is record a new podcast. I think that'll be tomorrow. I've got 2 podcast topics that I want to cover here. So I will be recording a new podcast. And then the bathroom saga should, I'm hoping might be finished by this weekend. It's all down to my mate Will. He came last week and did first fix. And he was like, as soon as Dan's finished doing all the tiling and everything like that, just give me a shout and I'll come in. He said, I'm only up in next village doing a mate's. He's doing a friend of ours on suite, so he said I could drop it for an afternoon. So Dan should be done today. Should be done today. So hopefully, and everything's in my hallway, toilet, sink, shower, everything else. So hopefully, if Dan gets done today, if Will can get in tomorrow, bathroom pretty much, other than like a couple of, I need to get the ceiling painted and a couple of different little niggly bits and pieces, but it'd be usable again, and then we can sort of then I can get my head back into the game and get back into a proper routine, as it were. I'm in the 5th week of the gym, boss. 5 days a week, trying to lose 2 stone, get back into the 15s again. Good job, Matt. Remember, Matt, you don't lose weight in a gym. All right, gym's great for physical health. It's great for mental health. It will give you some motivation. It will increase your energy levels. You use weight with calories. Too many people batter gyms thinking that's going to cause their weight loss. It really, really isn't. And I never want to piss on anyone's chips when it comes to training or going to the gym. Whether you're overweight or not, you should exercise a couple of days a week. That doesn't have to be in the gym. You can exercise any way that you feel fit, right? But you know, don't exercise for fat loss. Don't exercise for fat loss. Honestly, don't. Like, you'd be lucky to burn 300 calories in the gym. No, my watch says I burn 600 a day. No. Right? You'd be lucky to burn 300 calories in the gym. And if you go to the gym 5 days a week, like Matt is doing, he's burning 1,500 calories a week. Now, don't get me wrong, 1,500 calories a week is a decent calorie burn. It goes towards the deficit. But 1,500 calories a week isn't even half a pound of body fat. Right? If you equate calories to fat, right? Now, don't get me wrong, you can burn as many calories as you want in the gym. If you're not in a calorie deficit, you won't lose an inch of an ounce of body fat. You won't lose a jot, right? But if we go right, well, directly, the only thing exercise does for weight loss or fat loss is it burns calories, and that might, you know, if you're someone that is currently in, let's say you're currently doing 10,000 steps a day on average, right? And you're in a 3,500 calorie a week deficit. Great, right? That's a pound a week fat loss. If you then are going to the gym 5 days a week, which for a lot of people is unsustainable, that's a lot of time to spend going to a gym, right? And you carry on eat. So let's say you're doing 10,000 steps a day and you're burning 2,800 calories a day. So you're eating 2,300 calories a day, which is putting you into a 500 calorie a day deficit, right? 3,500 over a week, and that would equate to 1 pound of fat loss. If you then start going to the gym 5 days a week and your eating stays the same, so you don't increase your calories, you don't need to because you've got the energy required for the extra movement in your body. It's called fat, right? So you carry on eating the same, your steps stay the same, but you add 5 gym sessions a week in, your calorie deficit is going to go from 3,500 to 5,000, which would be an extra like 2/5 of a pound of body fat a week. Now don't get me wrong, it's a bit extra, and over the space of a month, it might be an extra 1.5 pounds of fat loss. But I just don't want people. Why I talk like this is I just don't want people slogging themselves out in a gym, which is unsustainable. It's something that they might not be able to stick to, and they think from doing that they're going to get amazing fat loss results. As I've already said, the gym is amazing for physical health and mental health. And if those two things are really, really good, it makes the journey miles easier. It really, really does. You know, look at physical health. If you're physically fit, like you handle stress much better, right? Your motivation's higher, your energy levels are higher, your control of appetite is much better. Right, it is. Because you're not as tired. It's a lot easier. The more energized you are in the body, the easier it is to fight things. You know, I've had 2 really tough days with hunger, but you know, I've burnt 7,000 calories over the last 2 days, and I've not even eaten 4,000. Right, and that's just because I've got good control over my calories. But part of having good control over my calories is I'm fit, I'm healthy, I can handle stress, and that's physically and mentally. You know, so yesterday, you know, I was really worried about Rach. She was really, really poorly. And in my mindset, I'm literally like, right, we're probably going to end up going to the walking centre, going to A&E. She's probably going to have an appendix out if that is what the issue is. And that, again, my routine's already been all over the place the last couple of weeks anyway. It's just going to be even more all over the place. It's what it is, you know. Would it have affected my eating? Absolutely. Well, it didn't. You know, even if it had escalated in something else, it just wouldn't have done. It wouldn't have affected anything. Even yesterday in the walking centre, and you might think this sounds really cold and harsh, but Rachel sat there curled up like this because she can't move, and I'm just pacing up and down to get some extra steps in. Like, you know, I was literally like, well, just in case I can't get home later because the dogs are at my mum's. What the dog's like, oh, might as well utilise my time now. And I was just pacing up and down, and the woman behind reception's looking at me like, "Is he all right?" And you know, she'd ask me, and I was like, "Yeah, let's get some steps in." Just paced up and down for 10 minutes to get a few extra steps in. So, and that's part of the lifestyle change. It's built into me. Whatever's going on in my life, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and I need to do this. You know, and we get it, and we get the boxes ticked off. Megan, good morning. I'm in a calorie deficit as well. I just used the gym to total. Yeah, don't get wrong with Matt. I wasn't saying. I wasn't using. When people come on and comment, I always use different sort of comments and things as an excuse to sort of educate others that are on the live. So everything I say generally isn't direct at each other, but there'll be loads of people. There's 83 people on this live now on TikTok and 10 on Facebook and YouTube. And some people will be battering the gym at the moment, thinking that is the be all and end all. To I just need to do this, just need to gym 5 days a week. Or some people will be like, I don't gym. Oh, this person's going 5 days a week. I must need to gym. Anyway, there we go. Let me scan down, see if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. Today's my chemo day, so I've got fajita pasta and slow cooker for tea and soup for lunch. Brilliant, Claire. Good luck with that. I hope everything. I mean, brilliant that you got your food, not brilliant that it's chemo day. That your food's all prepped, and just good luck with that. And obviously, when it's this week, the priority isn't weight loss. It's obviously recovering, getting your energy levels back up. I hope it all goes okay. What am I on with today? So, again, routine just a bit out the window. Rachel's at home working from home today. My mate Dan's come around to go out the bathroom. So I didn't get to the gym yesterday. So I'm finishing this live in about half an hour or so. And then I've got to go to the post office because I've got the first batch of Boss Your Protein boxes to send off. Second batch will be after lunch. Then I've got to go to the tip because I've just filled the car. I've got loads of tiles and a couple of rubble, a couple of gorilla buckets filled with rubble and stuff like that. So going empty all that into the tip. Then I've got to fly. Then I'm going to the gym, and then I'm going to train for an hour. I'm going to do an hour today because I missed yesterday. I normally do 45 minutes in the gym. I'm normally a little bit in and out as I can be, but I'm going to train for an hour today. So I'm hoping to get to the gym for 10:30 at the latest. Should be done for 11:30. Then it's come home. I'm trying not to eat breakfast today. Not really, I do eat intuitively. If I'm hungry, I'll eat, but don't like eating before training, really. I have got a banana. I might get a banana down it, or I might get a bit of fruit down me or something like that. I don't know. I'm not having my protein shake because I don't want to have half a litre of protein shake and then half a litre of energy drink on top. But I do like an energy drink before going to the gym. So it's going to be a case of I'm not going to have breakfast, but I'm going to take my protein shake in the car with me. And then when I finish my gym session at 11:30, bang, that's going to go straight down. Then I'm going to have my lunch. What am I having for dinner today? Don't know. I've got stuff in. I just don't know. It's going to be something chicken based, probably chicken volume based. I might actually stop at Aldi and get some spuds again. I really enjoyed those meals I had. I might have what I had for my tea last night for my dinner: chicken, spuds, veg, loads of volume, really, really filling, loads of protein. So I might get that in. I'll be having my second protein shake mid-afternoon. Tea tonight's pasta, which is never the highest volume meal. So I need to get my volume in for the day. And I'm going to try and stick to 2,100 calories today of food, 600 calories of protein shakes on top. And then I'm still banking some for the weekend. Though we've not really got a lot on this weekend. CJ London, I haven't seen you in ages. I've been here pretty much every day. But thank you for dropping by. Hello. I've got a whole. I hope you're good. I've got a whole week of meals prepped for the slow cooker to try and stay on plan. Brilliant, Claire. That's great. I had a stressful day yesterday. Went to sleep at 7. That's, to be honest with you, me and Rach, we both got in bed last night for about 8 o'clock. She passed out at about 8:30. She was absolutely knackered. I was asleep, I reckon, for 9:30. And I've been wide awake from 6 o'clock this morning. So I still had 8.5 hours sleep last night, and at 6 o'clock I was like wide awake. So just get up. Morning, son. To get my head back into the to shift the December £5 game. Why, Kelly? Why? What's the reason? What's holding you back? Is it your approach? You know, what you're struggling to get back into? Is it the approach? Is it putting it all together? Is it just you've had a lot on at the moment? What's the reason? There's always a reason. There's always a reason, you know. Thoughts on Meta? Can't give any. It's not out till next year. Right? Anyway, so come on, we've got to, you know, what's the reason? Why? There's always an answer. You know, is it just one? Is it just, I can't really be arsed, Neil, to be honest with you. If I'm being totally honest with you, right, well, that's fine. Don't beat yourself up if you know, when you are arsed, get your head down. There's always an answer. And I think some people, you know, they look for the quick fix. Why a lot of people struggle, unorganized, I think. All right, so there you go. So, like I say, you can only fix a problem when you know you've got one. So let's get organized, right? Let's get things into place. Keep things nice and simple. Let's start off. Let's you know, get our app booted up, get our calories sorted, right? Let's get a whiteboard out, get a journal out. Let's start planning a couple of meals here and there that fit in with your calories. You know, let's put some time. Let's do a time diary when I'm going to get my steps in. When I'm going to, you know, just there you go. So you've answered your question. Anyone needs help? If anyone's like, I'm just a bit overwhelmed at the moment and I don't know where to start, get on Plan With Me. My deal is still running. My New Year, New Me deal is running till Sunday night. After Sunday, it is gone. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page. It is just 15 quid. 15 quid to sign up to my one-to-one plan. All right, 15 quid to sign up to my one-to-one plan, and then it's $29.99 a month for a minimum 3 months. But when you complete your 3 months, I'll give you a 4th month free. That is the New Year deal. All right, so come sign up, and I'll do all the organization kind of for you, and I'll send it over to you. That's your plan. You just then need to put it into practice, you know. I'm just glad I'm not back up to the 21s. I was back in 2020, kept at least 3.5 stone off. That's brilliant, Matt. I was really greedy yesterday. 2.5 plates of cottage pie, probably way over my calories. Why are you saying probably? It's one of the worst things. You either are or you're not. Why aren't you tracking? Why aren't you tracking? I've had this with a couple of clients recently. Probably that's the worst thing. If you tracked, you'd answer the question. You either are or you're not. If you are over, it's only Tuesday. You can catch yourself up this week. If you're not over, then you're happy as Larry and you're like, do you know what? I just needed a really good feed yesterday and I had one. Right? Track those calories. Thank you. Got 10 to 7 grana banana for later. Good start. Really good start, Kelly. Honestly, the amount of people, like, why have I started sprinkling this cheese? Right. Let's the amount of people have had comment and message me saying, oh my God, I've tried broccoli with grana padano. It's unreal. Right. Why? And then yesterday I sprinkled it on eggs. Why have I started using this grana padano cheese? Right. First of all, I love Parmesan cheese. Right? I absolutely love it. And I've used it quite a lot over my weight loss journey, because it's very strong, it's salty, and you don't need a lot of it, right? So literally 5 grams sprinkled on your pasta, and that's what I tend to use it for. And I sprinkle it in omelets and things like that, or a little bit on my scrambled egg, right? And it tastes amazing, right? It tastes amazing. I absolutely love it. Aldi used to do grated Parmesan cheese. They then changed about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, to where you get Parmesan shavings now in a packet, and then the grated Italian hard cheese. And that's what Grana Padano is. It's a variety. It's not a variety of Parmesan. It's a standalone cheese, but it's similar. It's a hard Italian cheese. Is this Grana? So I was just like, well, I'll just grab that instead. And in all honesty, it is different to Parmesan, but it kind of does the same thing. And 5 grams of it's like 20 calories for and you get nearly 2 grams of protein in there, so it's pretty low calorie, and because it's quite light. 5 grams goes a long way. And I don't know. One day I was doing a pasta dish, and I had broccoli on the side, and I just ended up sprinkling it, and it went. And that's when I first tried it, and I was like, "Wow, that tastes amazing." And obviously, when we're on a weight loss journey, we're trying to eat like more calorie control. And one of the big things about calorie control is we have to eat less fat, right? We do. Generally, people that are overweight, obese, consume a lot of fat, have a high fatty diet, right? And there'll be people that jump on fat's not the issue. No, fat doesn't make you fat. Overconsumption of calories makes you fat. And fat is 9 calories a gram. It is double the calories of carbs. It is double the calories of protein. It is extremely dense, whether it's olive oil, which is extremely good for us, or whether it's pure lard, which, if overconsumed, can be really bad for us, right? Fat is calorific. So a lot of us need to reduce the fat in our diet. And there's some great simple swaps out there, lower fat meats, lower fat cheeses, this, that, and that. But when you reduce fat, you take away flavor. Fat is flavorful, right? It is. It really, really is. So we've got to find ways to make food taste absolutely sensational, right? But that's calorie controlled. So there's just little seasonings, and that's what I use grana padano. It's a seasoning, and it tastes amazing. Like, like yesterday, and it doesn't have to be that, just any sort of. So yesterday I did a roast chicken dinner, right? And so I used 250 grams of chicken breast. Now, chicken breast has the least flavor out of chicken. If I could eat, if someone said there's only one bit of a chicken you could eat for the rest of your life for flavor, it'd be chicken wings. Chicken wings are the tastiest bit of a chicken, crispy skin, that little bit of dark meat in it. Oh, they're amazing. I love them. But compared to, if you compare thigh, thigh's not terrible. Skinless, boneless thigh is not terrible. But if you compare it, 100 grams of chicken breast is like 110 calories, 120 calories. 100 grams of boneless, skinless thigh is nearly 200 calories. Now, when you want to have 200 grams of protein, the difference between 220, 230 and nearly 400, that's a big difference on a calorie deficit, right? So chicken breast I had yesterday for my tea. So I had chicken, potatoes, broccoli and peas, right? How did I make that taste absolutely amazing? So I got a jar of the chicken seasoning from Aldi, right? Chicken seasoning from Aldi, right? And just a little bit of that on my chicken, rubbed it all in, coated it all in. So that's my chicken breast. Now got quite a bit of flavor. My potatoes, into the I microwave. So I make all my potatoes, whether it's roast potatoes, chips, little square chips, do them all the same. I chop them up into whatever shape I want. Microwave, wash them until the water runs clear. Get some starch out. That helps to crisp them up. Microwave them for 5 minutes. That slightly softens the potato, but the heat, then you only need a tiny smidge of oil. That goes really like translucent. Is it, is it viscous? Anyway, it goes really loose. So you can coat a load of potatoes in hardly any oil. And then yesterday, I actually added salt and a little bit of paprika. So I've got salted paprika, roasted potatoes. I've got chicken in chicken seasoning. I've got peas and sweet. And then I used a turkey gravy from Christmas, like just a Bisto Best, couple of spoonfuls of that with some hot water over the top. So I've took a very low-fat meal and made it extremely tasty. I'm not saying fat is the only thing that gives us flavor, but it is very, we've got to be honest with, like I say, chicken thighs have more flavor than chicken breast. A ribeye steak has more flavor than a fillet steak, right? 10% fat means has more flavor than 3% fat means. Whole milk or semi-skim milk has way more flavor than skim milk. 10% fat yogurt has much more, is quite palatable on its own with just a drizzle of honey and some fruit, whereas 5%, 0% fat Greek yogurt is really quite bitter and sour. So fat does add flavor. So we need to add that flavor back. And that Grana Padano cheese, 5 grams of it, honestly, yesterday, 3 boiled eggs, bit of salt, bit of black pepper, and a little bit of that cheese on was heaven. It was absolutely heaven. It was so tasty. And for 20 calories. Now, I don't track seasonings as in my chicken seasoning, my paprika. They're virtually, for the amount you use, there's no point weighing them and trying to track the calories. Absolutely pointless. Grana Padano cheese, I do track it. All right, I'll always track it. I'll always put a sprinkle on and stick my plate on my scale, sprinkle it on and track it. But 5 grams goes such a long way. It really, really does. Right, we're on pasta tonight, so the Grana Padano will be out later on. We're really into these pastas from Morrison's. They are amazing. They don't scan in NutriCheck. I had to work out the calories from it and just do a quick ad. They don't scan from NutriCheck. I could actually add them in, to be honest with you, because you can actually add a barcode in. It won't. It's not an open database, is it, NutriCheck? So it only worked for my scanner. I keep meaning to take a picture of them and send them to NutriCheck on Instagram because they'll add them in. I've done that quite a bit with stuff that hasn't been in NutriCheck. I can't remember the name of them. I have put them on my socials. They're in like a yellow packet. They're so good. If you go on the website, it's all Italian. So I don't think they're UK based yet. But tonight we've had they do giant ravioli with ricotta and spinach. Is it ricotta and spinach? Yeah, I think so. And then we've also had the lemon zest and burrata little whatever the shape's called. Anyway, tonight we've got the tomato mozzarella ones. So we're gonna have them with gammon, broccoli, piece of garlic bread, sprinkle of cheese. 760 calories mine is. It's already in the app, ready to go. Lunch today is going to be 600 calories. So that's 1,300. I'm not having breakfast. I'll probably end up with an afternoon. I'm going to have afternoon eggs again that I had yesterday. And then I'll have a whey whip bowl tonight. So getting that protein in. Lots and lots and lots and lots of protein. Can't beat it. Morning, boss. I'm out early getting steps in as I have a crazy day. Very good, Stefan. A stone down this year, did a cheeky weigh-in this morning. Weigh-in Friday the 21st, 0.7, almost in the 20s, and a stone down this year. Brilliant, Peter P. Very, very good. I'm interested to see what's going. So my next, I've just had my last weigh-in. I'm 16.2 pounds down in 4 weeks of January. So from the 2nd to the 16th of January, 12.2 pounds down. From the 16th to the 30th of January, another 4 pounds down. I've now mixed things up a little bit and I've decreased my calorie deficit. I'm still tracking to around 2,600 calories a day of food, as I have done normally for probably the last 18 months. But I'm adding 200-300 calorie protein shakes into my day. Trying to build a bit of muscle. So we're training a bit harder in the gym, a bit more focus on weights. Got my journal for the gym all sorted out. So today we're doing a push day in the gym. So push is chest and shoulders. It will work triceps as well, but I'm not doing triceps today. I do arms on a separate day, which is Friday. So I'm basically doing chest and shoulders today. We're doing back tomorrow and arms on Friday. And then I don't know if I'm going to get any cross trainer in today. It depends what time my mate turns up. He doesn't do cardio in the gym. So if I can get there for 10:15, which might be a push, I'll do 15 minutes cross trainer, then 45 minutes weights. If I can't, I'll probably just do an hour weights. Train it down. Do you think exercise can help balance? It depends what your balance issues are. If your balance issues are because of disabilities, strengthening hips, strengthening legs certainly helps with mine because I could be registered disabled. I'm not registered disabled, but I could be with the issues that I have in my knees. Strengthening the body. At the end of the day, if we don't use it, we lose it, right? And if you're someone that's very sedentary and you don't exercise at all, and we've got to be honest with you, even people with disabilities or mobility issues can be lazy. They can probably do more than they actually push themselves to do, right? Your body will be weak. And if your body's weak, things like balance, people, as they get older, they get weaker, and people have to use walking frames and walking sticks and stuff like that, and so yeah, I could be registered disabled. I read this out the other day. I'm alive. I've just been had MRI scans on my knees and this, that, and the other, and I've got ruptured ACLs. I've got severe arthritis. I've got meniscus tears. So my knees are absolutely shot to pieces. To the point, I'm in pain constantly every single day. Does it stop me moving? No, because I don't want to be weak. I don't want to not be able to move. So the fact, how can I do 11,000 steps a day and train 6 days a week in the gym and teach a couple of spin classes a week, even though my knees are shot to pieces? Because I don't use them as an excuse not to move, right? I've adapted my movement to my knees, right? And anyone who is, I've worked with so many disabled clients in the past, especially when I was one-to-one personal training. I've worked with so many clients that have mobility issues, and all you need to do is adapt your movement to your issues. So so how do I adapt my movement to my issues with my knees? Well, because I do move a lot, my body is strong, which means it protects my knees a bit, right? If I didn't move a lot, my body would be weak and I would be in a lot worse situation. But I've never used my mobility issues as an excuse not to try and move as much, because it's worth it, right? So that's number one for me. Number two, I don't do any impact exercise whatsoever, or high impact at all. So I don't do I don't do anything that puts adverse pressure through my knees. So I'll go on the cross trainer. The cross trainer is closed chain. My feet are permanently planted, and they just do that on the cross trainer, right? That is no pressure through my knees. Yeah. Likewise, I teach spin. My feet are permanently connected to a set of pedals, and I just need to do that. And I rotate the pedals a bit more with my hip than I would with my knee. It's not the best technique for spinning, but it's the way I've adapted it, right, to allow me to still spin. And I have my seat a little bit higher, so I do overextend my legs a little bit in the saddle, but I have to do that because I have no flexion in my knees, right? So I've just adapted the way I sit on the bike that allows me to do the spin class. Now, when you overextend on a bike, you've got to be very, very careful, because you can put a lot of strain through your hips. So because of that, I work on strengthening my hips in the gym. So I've got really strong hips, which means I can overextend my legs on the bike, and it causes me no issues. All right. So we've got to cut out the excuses, right? We've got to cut out the excuses, because I've had clients that have come to the gym. I remember a lady that I worked with, Heather. She's actually an old family friend. I've known her for years. And when I first started working with Heather, she didn't have the best mobility. She wasn't even confident to walk on a treadmill and she was in her 60s. Maybe even, I don't actually know exactly how old she was, probably late 60s. She wasn't even confident just walking on a treadmill at a very slow pace for a couple of minutes where she could hold on. So I worked within the gym. I got her doing some light steps around the gym, and then I strengthened her hips, and we strengthened her legs a little bit, to the point where 18 months of working together, she was doing 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day, right? And she was registered disabled. She was actually worried about, not that she was on any major benefits. She had a very good pension. She'd had a very good job. She wasn't on any benefits or anything like that. But she was like, oh, I don't want to lose my blue badge and this, that, and the other. And I said, no. I said, I get it, because she still had days that were tough, and she still needed days like I do. I've got days where it really hurts to walk. But then I've got days where actually at the moment my joints have been brilliant. So it's all good. So, and what we have to understand is, as well, if we're overweight, we're putting a lot of pressure through our body. Lose the weight. Everyone's mobility. Like, I was 37 stone when I started my wellness journey. I couldn't move. I was struggling to get out of bed. I was struggling to get out of bed 5 out of 7 days, right? I had good days, I had bad days. 5 out of 7 days, I found it really hard just to get out of bed. It actually embarrasses me now, thinking the life I used to lead and live and used obesity as an excuse. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying obesity, you know, it is. I've always thought this for years, and I'm actually going to cover this in a podcast. It is a disease, right? And it is, you know, I'm not saying it's something. Why I used to fight calling it a disease was when I think of a disease, I think of something that can be passed from person to person, something. But what obesity is it's what obesity is in terms of a disease, it's something that we're not necessarily in control of, or we can lose control of it. I don't know how to say it. It's an addiction. It's a mental health issue, and it's an addiction. So, but any addiction, any mental health issue, the main person that can fix it is us, or the only person. Ultimately, the only person that can fix it is us, right? And, you know, I could blame my parents for the way I was brought up. I could blame, you know, the way different, you know, I could blame society. I could blame the fact that there's so much more calorific food knocking about. It's easier to get takeaways in this day and age. You know, I could blame computer games. I could blame Netflix. I can play the blame game all my life. But at the end of the day, it does come down to me. And it can come down to just how much you want it. How much you want it. I think we just get used. And this was a big issue with me. You get used to living a certain way. It's just what you know. And when you get used to living a certain way, it's just what you know. The years just disappear because it's just what you know. And you might be unhappy and you might this, that, and the other, but you just kind of get used to it. It's only when you lose the weight that you truly realize. I was talking about this yesterday on one of my weight loss coaching lives. You truly realize what you're missing out on. You know, I stayed the same for years and years because it's nothing to do with exercise. Nothing to do with exercise. You stayed the same for years and years and years because you can't stick to a calorie deficit. Nothing to do with exercise. I've already covered that in this live. Exercise is a smidge, right? A smidge of weight loss. I've got loads of clients that have lost serious amounts of weight that don't exercise. Now it depends what you class as exercise, right? If you're very sedentary, you're a very lazy person, yeah, just going for a walk might be exercise to you. I don't class walking as exercise because it doesn't get my heart, because I'm fit. It doesn't raise my heart rate up enough. So, you know, if you rephrase that, CJ, to I've stayed the same weight for years and years and years, and I think one of the reasons is I don't move. Yeah, that could be a reason. But the main reason is you know, if you stay the same weight, you're maintaining, but you're eating the same amount of calories as you burn. And if you're overweight, your calorie burn is going to be pretty high. So, you know, that's the reason. But you've got to break it. You've got to break it. No one else can do it for you, right? You've got to break it. And that's the hard truth. Is it normal to gain a couple of pounds when starting to lift weights? It's just normal to gain a couple of pounds. Doesn't need to be. A lot of people put two and two together and get 5, Kirsty. So, you know, now don't get me wrong. If you lift weights hard and you get a lot of DOMs, could that cause a little bit of swelling in the body? Yeah, but it'd be gone in a day or two. You know, I think some people are, and then to be like, oh, I've had so many people, I gain weight lifting weights. You don't gain weight. Well, you do gain weight. You don't gain fat, right? A little bit of swelling in the body, but it'll only hang around for a couple of days. But, you know, I tell you the most common reason why people tend to gain weight when they start exercising is because they go, oh, I'm exercising now, which means I can eat more food and I'll still lose weight, right? That is the most common reason. I've seen it so many times. It's untrue. Guys, I never want you to think I just make stuff up. A lot of the stuff I say is based on, you know, experience. You know, I've had it with clients in the past, especially when I was one-to-one PT, because you spend a lot more time with the client. I've had people come to me, I've lost 2 stone, plateauing now, right? How are you losing 2 stone? I was eating 1,200 calories a day. I was doing this, I was doing that, I was doing that. Right, okay, let's stop all that nonsense, right? Here's your calories. Let's get you in the gym twice a week. Let's get you, you know, chatting to me. I was always very honest with my clients. Like, you're not here to lose weight. you need to get fitter and healthier. But if you get fitter and healthier, you lose weight outside of here, not in here. But you get fitter and healthier, it will make what you do outside of here much, much easier, right? It really, really will. Right, okay. 4 weeks goes by. Should we jump on scales? Should we have a little look? Yeah. Oh, you gained 4 pounds. Oh my God. I knew it. Last time I exercised, gained 4 pounds. I was like, right, okay, well, right, all right. Show me your food diary. And at the time it was MyFitnessPal. Oh, I've not been tracking. I'll give you your calories. How do you know you're eating the calories that I've set you? Well, I've just, thought because I'm exercising with you, I didn't really need to. I keep an eye on my portions and stuff. And then I'm like, right, okay. What are you having for your breakfast? Well, I have porridge. All right, yeah, porridge is all right. It's good, healthy fats in your oats and how big a porridge do you have? Like, well, I have 50 grams of oats. Okay. Do you make it with milk or water? Milk. All right. Okay, so that's getting up a bit. And what do you have on your porridge? Honey and fruit, yeah, and peanut butter. I'm like, okay. So you're already telling me, I've given you 1,800 calories a day. You're already having 600-700 calories for your breakfast. If you're not measuring anything, it could be more. Well, yeah, but it's dead healthy. Oh, I'm not saying it's not dead healthy. You're just eating too much, right? Yeah, but I'm exercising now, and you need the fuel, don't you, while the exercise? So the fuel's sat in your body. You're 4 stone overweight. You don't need the fuel to exercise. No, it's there. You've got 200,000 calories sat in your body of energy that we're trying to get rid of, right? So no, you don't need to fuel your body more because you're exercising. You're overweight. That's your fuel, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Body fat doesn't have nutrition in it. So yeah, I don't mind you getting some good fats in. They're in your oats. You don't need it in your peanut butter as well. Or if you want a bit of peanut butter, that's fine. But I've given you some lower days and some higher days, little things like that. And that is the big reason why people tend to gain weight from exercise. They just see it as an excuse to eat more. I'm definitely in a deficit, burning loads more than I consume. How big's your deficit, Kirsty? What's your deficit then? If you're burning how big's your deficit? So if you're in a deficit, it is just excess, like water retention or something like that. Just what is your deficit? Is your deficit too big? Like you've definitely in a deficit, burning loads more than I consume. And don't make sure we're not basing our calorie burn off this. Yeah, my watch says I burn 4,000 calories a day. I'm eating 2 out. Your watch is wrong. All right. Yeah, I don't move. I class walking as exercise because I do nothing. That's fine. So it's a case of, CJ, getting your steps up, working on them. Yes, will it be hard at the start? Yeah, life is hard. You've got to choose your hard, right? Your body will adapt to it, irrelevant of having any disabilities. Start off, don't try and run before you can walk. If you're doing 1,000, if you're currently averaging 2,000 steps a day, let's start averaging 2.5, then 3, then 3.5, then 4, giving your body time to adjust to this increase in movement. Was it hard to lose your weight way before there was as much info as there is now? Not really. I'll tell you why. And this is I was just a little bit lucky in my thought process. I'm a very logical thinker. And it was the first time I actually thought logical about weight loss. And don't get me wrong, I knew nothing compared to what I knew now when I started my weight loss journey in 2014. Like nothing. Like I thought I was no carbing for the first year, right? Or very low carbing for the first year because I didn't realize fruit, oats, rice. I thought they were grains. I just associate, like a lot of people do, carbs is potatoes, pasta, bread. So I didn't really eat any of that for the first 12 months of my weight loss journey. And I'm there going, oh, I'm no carbing. I was eating carbs, but I'm eating good carbs. I was eating fast digesting, healthy carbs that had a good bit of fiber in them, fruits, veggies, oats and rice. Those were kind of my carbs, as it were. So I was eating carbs. But really for me, the big thing for me is, in fact, I would say in this day and age, I probably started my weight loss journey at a bit of a golden era because there was nowhere, like a lot of people were like slimming. There was fad diets everywhere, but there wasn't the bullshit that's about on social media then, which is when we're desperate to achieve something, we become vulnerable. So when we're desperate to achieve weight loss, we become vulnerable, and vulnerable people are very easy to influence. So, you know, when I started, there weren't dickheads walking around supermarkets going, this will kill you, this will do this, just eat meat, eggs, and cook everything in butter. There was none of that bullshit. So I wasn't swayed by things like that. The Atkins diet was knocking about, and that's kind of why I went down the no carb route. But again, I didn't look too deep into it, and it did me a massive favor, you know. So there were, you know, because we try and fight this good fight where we try and give as much good information out as possible. And for every bit of good information that's given out from influencers, there's one dickhead on here, or, you know, there's probably 5 dickheads to every one decent influencer when it comes to fat loss, right? I could give you 5 absolute, complete and utter prats that you shouldn't follow, and I can give you one to counterbalance that person that's really, really good to follow, that doesn't demonize food, that uses context, that uses logic, that uses research and science to back up what they're saying, right? So it's a bit of a catch-22. I'm glad I found your account way before Rep Majaro Sunworld and all that. Yeah, it is, and it's very easy to get swayed. It's very easy to get swayed. Now, if someone comes to me and goes, you know, well, you're not promoting the healthiest of lifestyles. I promote a healthy lifestyle. Don't care what anyone says. Do I promote this like absolute clean eating, green shakes and all this shit? No, I don't, because you don't need to eat like that to be healthy. Like, don't get me wrong, I could reduce my sugar intake, I could reduce my saturated fat intake, but the amount of sugar and saturated fat I eat isn't detrimental to my health, and I enjoy it, right? But if, you know, it's all about moderation. It is all about devil's in the dose. You've got all these people that are going, oh, additive. There's nothing wrong with additives and preservatives in food. They've been through rigorous testing and they cause us no issues in the amount we consume them, right? And it's amazing. You know, everyone's like, well, that's a carcinogen. If mobile phone is, you've got more chance of getting cancer from your mobile phone, right, than you have of anything that you eat in terms of whether it's whole, processed or ultra processed food. Your phone. And people are just like that for hours a day on them. I'm not saying your phone's going to give you cancer. It's a class 2 carcinogen, right? So if there's a risk there, there's a risk, right? And it has to be labeled. And it's the same with anything that's, you know, your microwave in your kitchen. It's radio, you know, it's that's a class 2 carcinogen. So is aloe vera. So is being a hairdresser, because you work with loads of chemicals on a day-to-day basis, right? You've got more chance of getting cancer from being a hairdresser than you have from any additive or preservative in food, right? Because we don't overconsume them, right? Because we can't, because of the studies that have been done and the amounts that go in, the trace elements that go into things. And in this day and age, food quality's improved that much. It's like, I was chatting to someone the other day in the gym and we were talking about food and this, that, and the other. And they were like, and they were doing the old, well, bread shouldn't last for 4 or 5 days on a shelf. It's like, why shouldn't it? And they were like, because it shouldn't. It should do the old, there's people now going, bread should only have 4 ingredients in it like it did have 30 years ago. Should it really? Because a lot of the stuff added to bread's actually like vitamins and minerals. So I said, do you know what the preservative is in Warburton's toasty bread? Right? Now it's white bread, so a bit of the fiber's taken out. You're going to get more fiber from wholemeal bread, but it's white bread, right? Do you know what makes white bread last? You know, you buy a loaf on Monday and you can still eat it on Friday. Do you know what makes it last that long? Sorbic acid. And that is what is written on the ingredients. And then people go, it's an acid, sorbic acid. I could create all different fears around it. Do you know what I know a sorbic acid as? Right? Do you know what you know a sorbic acid? Vitamin C. Vitamin C is the preservative that makes bread last. That's it. Right? It's vitamin C. Now, they'll never write vitamin B or vitamin D or vitamin E or vitamin K or vitamin C on an ingredients label. They're not allowed. They've got to write what the actual thing is. But ascorbic acid is vitamin C. You know, you'll also see something called niacin, right? Niacin's vitamin B, right? So you've got to, you know, but people don't use it. There was a lad that he's a young lad, started to jump on this, go around supermarkets, look at this. And he literally made himself look, and I've not seen him for ages. I don't know if he's just put his tail between his legs and wandered off somewhere and given up. But he was literally in a supermarket going, you know, look at the ingredients in this: preservatives, ascorbic acid. And I literally commented straight away saying, you do know ascorbic acid's vitamin C. So you're literally creating something now, telling people not to eat something because the preservative is a vitamin that you only really get from fruit. So if people don't eat a lot of fruit, at least they're getting it from their bread. And he didn't respond. I think he might have blocked me, actually, to be honest with you. But that's the reality of the world we live in. Lots of people giving lots of bullshit out that they don't know what they're talking about. You know, and that is just making this worse and worse and worse for so many different people. So many people, I don't know what to eat anymore. Can't eat Cocoa Pops. And I love a bowl of Cocoa Pops once a week. I can't eat Weetabix, can't eat shredded wheat, right? But in the morning, I enjoy a little bowl of cereal every now and then. You can eat everything. The devil is always in the dose. Right, I've got to go. Guys, it's been a pleasure as always. Guys, if you're a planner in the community, I'm back in 3 hours for this week's Everything Weight Loss session. 12:30 till 1:30, 5 minutes before it's going to start. You know I'll be a bit late. You know me. I will send a broadcast out to say it's starting with the link to jump on board. You guys on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all that jazz. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll be back here at 8:30 tomorrow morning and 7:30 tomorrow night. If you want to come and join the Everything Weight Loss session at 12:30 today, you need to sign up to my one-to-one plan. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page. Click on the link. Go down to shop. Monthly one-to-one plan. Use code New Year, New Me. It's 15 quid to sign up. I'll start you on plan on Monday, and it's all good to go. I'm going to have to go. I've got a phone call. I think it's a delivery. Right. Facebook, YouTube. I'll see you tomorrow.